Good evening and welcome to BackChat. I'm your host, Temba Madima. This evening we're chatting to Cornel Fredericks, 400-meter sensation, one of SA's best. He'll be coming on with us this evening. Hope you guys are doing well. It is a Monday, so I hope it hasn't been too busy or too hectic. But we've got Cornel Fredericks in the house. I see he's on here, so we're going to be going live with him in a bit. Cornel, send me a request, and then we're going live. Hope you guys are doing well. I always say it matters how you start, but it's also more important how you finish. So hope you guys are well. Waiting for Cornel to connect. Cornel Fredericks.
Mr. Madima.
How you doing, my brother?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm good, and you, sir?
Good.
Yeah.
You hear me perfect?
Perfect.
All right. Welcome, brother. It's good to have you here. Excited to have a chat with you, you know. I think you got a lot to share, but so welcome to BackChat.
Thanks, Madima. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, the last couple of months, I think, was a difficult few months for a lot of athletes, but we managed to cope with the whole situation of COVID, and we're still going to be a part of us going into even the coming year.
Yeah.
But so far everything is good.
All right, super. That's all I want to hear, my brother. That's all I want to hear. As long as you're good, I'm good. All right, so what we're going to do, as tradition here on BackChat, I'm going to do an introduction. So I'll introduce you so that the people who are coming on now can know exactly, man, who we're dealing with here, the caliber of athlete that's in the house, this evening. And then from there on, we'll take it from there. Is that good for you?
Oh, good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us this evening, we've got Cornel Fredericks. He is, listen carefully. He is the Commonwealth Games 400-meter hurdles gold medalist, World Continental Cup 400-meter hurdles gold medalist, World Championships 400-meter hurdles finalist, World Under-20 Championships 400-meter hurdles finalist, African Championships 400-meter hurdles gold medalist, as well as the four-time SA 400-meter hurdles champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Cornel Fredericks.
Thanks, Temba.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother. That's a CV, man. Yeah, you know, sometimes, in life you can say this and that, but I mean, when you go back and whenever you Google Cornel Fredericks, this is what comes up, you know.
Sorry, say again, Temba.
So I'm saying, like, when you Google Cornel Fredericks, this is what you see. This is what comes up. Hearing this performances and what you've achieved so far in your career, how does that make you feel?
Temba, for me, starting my career many years ago, I never dreamt of becoming like a world star or one of South Africa's best. But as the years went along, I just look at all the greats before me, like Elze van Zyl and Llewellyn Herbert.
Yeah.
And these guys actually paved the way for a lot of South African hurdlers,
Yeah.
And that in a way motivated me as well to become, in my own right, one of South Africa's best 400 hurdlers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But before we get into all that stuff, let's just do a few introduction welcomes. I see Lindsay Hanakom is in the building. He says Konjagla. I see Kyle Blichnot also says Papasi. Welcome to Kulani, Sibanye Music, Henku, Ingram, welcome. Bapelele, TS Loving G, welcome to you, Eugene. Ratele, we got Pavan Esgola, James Siliga, I see you, welcome to you. Sine Sipo Dambile, The young man just won in Africa. They're busy choke slamming Cisse, so the young man is working hard, Fredericks. We've got Eugene.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, we've got Dirk Herbst, Andre Belling, Beatrice Lebuhang, Zandile. Welcome, guys. I'm not going to get to everybody. Janet Siliga, Larry Tino. People are going to be in and out as we go. But yeah, guys, we appreciate it. Discus Queen, welcome to you as well. So let's get started. Very, very, very important that we deal with this. We're going to play a game. This game is called 30 Seconds, What's in the Bag? This record has been standing for too long, Cornel. 18, it looks like is the world record, in this 30 seconds. So I want you to break it. I want you to break the BackChat 30-second record. Are you ready, my brother?
Yes.
So it's very simple. 30 seconds to name as many things as possible that you have in your bag. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Themba spikes.
Yeah, bo.
Extra tracksuit.
Yeah.
Running vest.
Aha.
My Red Bull.
Yes.
A towel.
Okay.
My stretching bands, elastic bands.
That's 6.
What else?
And time. Aye, Cornel.
Themba.
Aye, man. What's happening?
Listen, the top athletes will tell you they just go to the track and compete, man. They don't take all the extra luggage with them.
Oh, you race light, huh?
Light.
Yeah. Now, but sprinters are always, it looks like, the ladies, middle distance, long distance ladies, on top is, what is it? It's Nicole Lowe, and then was, second was Nolene Conrad. They're 16, 18, 17, everybody else, 4, 6, 10, 12, that's every. So, okay, we'll take it. We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you. All right, let's get started, man.
Yeah, let's go, Themba.
First question, very important. Obviously, hurdles coming from the Western Cape. Where did this hurdles journey start? Did you always want to do hurdles? How did you discover hurdles, and how did you get started?
Themba, I grew up in a small town called Caledon in the Boland.
Boland?
And yeah, not actually in Western Cape, actually Boland.
Yeah.
The home of champions, as they call it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as a young athlete, Themba, in primary school, to be honest with you, I never did hurdles in primary school. I was a 1,200 meter athlete, man.
Okay.
1,200. So I was just running with all these kids doing all this long stuff. And my whole primary school career, I did 1,200 meters.
Okay.
And when I went to high school, actually in 2003, that's when everything changed for me, where a school teacher actually asked me, listen, will you be able to do more than 1 or 2 events? And that's where I actually fell in love with hurdles. So everything started for me in high school in 2003.
So obviously the distance, it played a good role. I always say, the misconception around the world with running is that, if you do long stuff, it's going to eat your speed, But I mean, there's a lot of world-class sprinters that started off with cross-country. They did the 1,002 like yourself. And I mean, you went on to be one of the world's greatest, you dominated for your time as well, and it just shows that, the development of athletics, doing the longer stuff in those early years cannot, cause any damage to your development. Ofu?
No, definitely. Especially with me, I never had speed. Like I was never a speed athlete in primary or high school or even in my senior career.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was something that I actually had to train to become faster as well. But speed endurance for me was always my strength over my career. So, well, I always backed myself when it came to the hurdles.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of athletes in high school want to do hurdles because
Yeah.
they're either scared of falling over the hurdles or they have to run underneath the hurdles or around the hurdles. And for some reason, I was always the one that did the hurdles. And well, I think it was the age of 14, yeah, 13, 14. I was always the winner in the hurdles, so that kept me going as well.
I see here Avumile
Hey,
Nkoseli.
Mr. Pogba.
Pogba is in the building. Welcome.
I
I
see
see he's
him.
also left. He's left a goat here. I don't know what that means. Is this some form of greatness that he's talking about, Mr. Fredericks?
I'm not sure. I have to ask him what is.
Yeah, so welcome to everybody who just joined in. I see we've got a question here from Sibanye Music. Sibanye is asking, what makes a good 400-meter athlete? Help us, Cornel.
Timber, to be honest with you, there's quite a few different aspects of being a good 400-meter athlete. Obviously, you need to have speed, endurance, and then also a bit of attitude, man.
Yeah. That's nice. I like that.
Because, you know, 400 hurdles and 400 meters, I believe, is one of the toughest events in track and field. And if you look around in South Africa and around the world, there's only a few athletes that actually has the attitude to be a top 400 meter and 400 meter hurdle athlete.
Sure. Hi, nah. That's powerful advice, Mr. Fredericks, because you know, everybody was gonna think other things, technique and form and what, but you're telling them not to forget the attitude. You know, what type of attitude? Let's just get to you. You know, everybody sees Cornel Fredericks, they see the calm, slow. You know, you speak slow, you're precise with your words. You're probably the buyer, man. Huh? You. You're a calm guy. You know, whatever you say is like it's there. It's direct. It's simple. But on the track, that attitude you're talking about is there for sure. What goes on when you step on the track?
Temba, like I said earlier, when I was in high school, you know, it was always just competing, and you didn't actually, or for me, it wasn't all about, I want to be the best, and in 2008, when I left Caledon and joined Marty's Athletics Club in Stellenbosch, that's the first time I started training with a coach, a proper coach. The late Mario Smith.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, he was actually the guy that started all that fight in me, you know.
Yeah.
And made me realize that the amount of potential I have to become one of the best 400-meter hurdlers of South Africa, you know. So he was one of the guys that actually started the whole attitude thing in me.
Yeah.
And not to be scared of competing against the best in the world and South Africa.
Okay. Rest in peace to a great coach, you know. Like you said, he played a very important role. I see King B is in here. King Enrico Brenkis. Enrico Brenkis is sending a lot of question marks here. I don't know what's going on. I see Coach Henny Kotzer, the legendary Coach Henny Kotzer is also in here. He's here to see his former athlete and here what you have to share. I see Jerome Bosser also says Mebra. So yeah, let's get to your journey. We're gonna get to that. Enrico, Brainkies. We'll get to you later. Let's deal with with things here first. So obviously, like you said, the late coach Mario, he played an important role in your development, and obviously there was a transition where you moved from Boland. I mean, like you said, Boland is the home of champions. A lot of SA champions come from there. They go on to do well in the world stage and so on. So what prompted your move from Boland to Pretoria?
After 2012 Olympic Games, actually prior to the 2012 Olympics, after I made the final in Daegu in 2011, there was a lot of expectation from a lot of people in South Africa, and that I'm actually maybe a finalist going into the 2012 Olympic Games. Unfortunately for me, Themba, injuries, and I never made it past the first round.
Yeah.
And then at the Olympic Games, my manager, Mr. Piet van Zyl, he actually sent me a text and said, listen, we need to talk.
Yeah.
This can't be happening. There's too much talent here. We need to get you in a proper place, And actually at the same Olympic Games as well, for some reason, I one day just walked into any coach. And yeah, we had a long chat, Themba, for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And at the time, any coach was like, listen, I would like you to join my group in Pretoria. And he's actually told me, listen, go back home, talk to whoever you need to talk to, make your decision, and then you can come back and we start 100%.
Let's get working.
And after 2012 Olympics, Themba, I just went with my heart. And because I actually went and looked at the record of any coach as a coach,
Yeah.
And it was one of the best at the time. And I didn't think twice. I just packed my bags, and end of 2012, I came to Pretoria, and that was the end.
The beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously from then, I mean, we can't talk about, coming to Pretoria was probably like one of the breakthrough decisions you made in your career. Obviously, it took a mind shift for you to say, okay, listen, this is what I'm gonna go for. This is what I want to achieve. So tell us. So you come to Pretoria. What changes? What makes the next years? Some of the best years. Of your running at that time. What was the biggest change that played a role in that?
But first, the HBC gave me a platform where everything was in place.
Yeah.
I had a proper coach. There was a proper system. I was looked after well. I had everything. And that actually made me realize, listen, now it's time for you to just focus purely on training hard and competing.
Yeah.
And the rest will be sorted out by the people on the side.
I see old Brayton Poole is in here saying a player.
It's a legend.
The legendary Poole is in the building. Karina, welcome to you as well. Kananelo, Shange Yandi, we see you. Kicks the high jumpers in here. Alvin Murray, Dominique Toretto, your boy Andy. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining in. Our Dlamini has also joined in. Okay, so sharp, ne? So obviously now you say there's a lot of things that are in place allowing you to be able to focus more on your running, So by now we can say, like, you know, you're full-time athlete, 100% focused, and you're in a training group. The training group you're in at the time. I mean, it's like you said, one of the best in the country. It's yourself. I mean, LJ Van Zyl, as well as many other like top, you know, 400-meter hurdlers. And then, so what role did that play? I mean, if I think about it, I mean, you've won 4 national titles in a space of over. I mean, yeah, in a long space. You know, you've won 4 titles, but also at an international level. I mean, if we talk about 2014, probably one of your that season was a phenomenal season. Just run us through your training in 2013 and what type of confidence did it give you getting into the 2014 season?
Well, the training group I was in at the time, it was myself, LJ Van Zyl, Kurt Kuto,
Yep.
Wouter Leroux, PC Beneke.
Sure.
And all of us, we were, in our careers, we were SA Youth Champions, SA Junior Champions, SA Senior Champions.
Yeah.
So the competition in the group was quite strong.
Yeah.
And with that, we had a world-class coach, you know, in Henny Kotze. He wasn't a coach of many words, but you would know after training sessions that, listen, the boss was here today. Because Henny Kotze's training was something else. And yeah, Themba, I think the competition in the group actually was that strong that as an athlete for myself, and I think the others will also can also actually follow on that. The program was so strong and the athletes in the group were so strong. So you have to, like, once you get to training, everybody wants to be the best, you know?
Yeah.
And it was always competition at the training. So we knew once we go into a competition, we are 100% prepared.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from my side, I was always the one at training. I just did what the coach asked.
Yeah.
And I trusted the program, and I think that was part of my success, or mainly part of my success over the years.
I mean, I wanna, you know, we can't not touch on all these, you know, these achievements, you know, Cornel, amazing achievements. I mean, Commonwealth. I mean, you know, you don't take these things like, you don't. Hey, I don't want to take anything like, you know. I mean, that's a big deal. And then World Continental Cup, also, you know, gold medalist in that. I mean, World Under-20 champs, you were finalist, African Championships 400-meter gold medalist as well, and 4 national titles. I mean, that shows that somehow, you know, you love the big stage. You love the big stage. You want to perform at the big stage. And one of the things I can hear from you is that, you know, your mindset, like I said, I can just hear, you know, that you had a strong mindset, and the idea of losing for you was not something that you liked much. Let's talk about your mind. Like, I want to know what goes on in your mind. Like, when you step on the line, what is going on?
No, Themba, every competition I compete in, you know, everybody steps on the field, on the track to win.
Yeah.
And as you get older in track and field, you start to realize that, listen, all the training I'm putting in every day, it can't be for nothing, man.
Yeah.
It has to pay off, or it has to. So every time I set foot on the track, I just want to go out, give it my best, because a lot of people actually come to the stadiums to see athletes perform.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else, there's no better feeling in track and field than actually winning or running or throwing or jumping a PB. And if the mindset aren't right, you won't be able to achieve all these success.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, what you're saying is exactly true. I mean, like, especially, competing at the world stage against the best in the world. Let's do a few welcomes here before I continue. I see Leroy Newton has joined us. Kusia Fenter, welcome. Justin Glecky, welcome to you as well. Emil Peterson, I see you. Derek Mukaleng,
Hey.
thanks for coming through. Hey, hey. People want to hear what they're here for you. They're here for you. They're not here for me. They want
Yeah,
to
but
hear
they're running away. They're running away to America.
But even if they're in America, they hear that they've tuned in, they wake
Thank
up early
guys.
to make sure they can see you. So yeah, as I was saying, obviously, like competing at the international stage, it's something that there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of, you said you've always had a lot of expectation, and you've always, felt like you needed to achieve, big things on the track, and I mean, it's exactly what you were able to do, and you delivered. Your nickname. I think there's a nickname that people don't know. It's called the Postman, because the postman always delivers. So
I hear that one, Temba. I hear that one. But the postman can't always deliver,
yeah. No, but I mean, that's the reality of life. What would you say is one of the what's the most important lesson you've learned from track and field? This is a lesson that you can pass on to the younger athletes and up and coming athletes. What's the most important lesson you would say you've learned on the track?
Temba, to be honest with you, self-discipline, man. It really taught me self-discipline, because I can see even in today, a lot of the young athletes, man, they don't have that thing, self-discipline.
Yeah.
It still lacks a lot of athletes, and if you don't have self-discipline, then there won't be a routine that you follow to become the best. So definitely self-discipline, because that's the one thing that actually I had to teach myself. Listen, if you want to become the best, there's certain rules. There's just certain stuff in life that you need to adapt to.
Yeah.
That you need to follow to become the best.
Absolutely, man. I always say, like, especially with discipline, I say, discipline will save your life. Like, discipline is like your default, If you've got discipline, you don't have to be motivated all the time. You don't have to try catch up and try work hard and try all these things, It's just that consistency of showing up continuously, everything eventually adds up. And before you know it, the puzzle comes together, and yeah, that's it,
Definitely.
Absolutely. So obviously, the 400-meter hurdles in South Africa, I mean, there's a tradition, like you said. I don't, I was missing you and a few more, maybe a few more also hurdlers that came. But I mean, if you've got Cornel Fredericks on BackChat, you've had LJ Van Sale, you've had Llewellyn Herbert. I just probably need to get on Terry de Villiers, Alvin Maber. We need to get Peter Kukamur. We need to get who am I missing? Joe Hanakom. We need to get
The Olympic champion.
Yeah. So it's one of those, man. And I mean, the tradition of this sport is it's encouraging, because it just goes to show. I mean, if you look at the up and coming athletes, Sox Zazini, Lindsay Hanakom, they're in the building, and they're putting their hands up to say, you know what, give us a chance. We want to take this to the world on a senior level as well, So my question would be for hurdlers, athletes that are wanting to come into hurdles, what advice do you have for them? What advice, especially when it comes to performing at a large scale? Oh! I see the bad man is in here. Isaac Makwala, the great Isaac Makwala, has popped in as well. Welcome. So, what advice would you give?
Temba, if you look around, to be successful, you need to be in a successful environment, And just to name a few, Lindsay and Shocks are training together now.
Yeah.
It's a strong group. They motivated guys, you know. They full of talent.
Mm.
If you look at the sprinters at Tux,
Yeah.
it's a culture, you know. So you have to build that culture,
Yeah.
and you have to be in that environment. And once you're in an environment like that that's successful, it's only a matter of time
Yeah.
before you're gonna start see all the success coming afterwards, you know.
All right. I hear you. Great advice again. Next one, I'm gonna get to what is the, you know, obviously athletics. You know, we've dealt with a lot of the serious advice. What would you say was the most? What was the best gift you've gotten from athletics? What have you enjoyed most about, you know, being a professional athlete? Yeah, in your career, what did you enjoy the most?
Temba, for me, the respect I got from people back home, you know,
Yeah.
especially in the small communities back home, people will always say, listen, even though it was 2011, 2013, 2014, you made a big impact in a lot of young athletes' lives, you know.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of athletes looking up to me, people sending me messages, giving phone calls, asking for advice, you know. So for me, that's actually something that I never dreamt of before.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what give me the satisfaction of, listen, there's actually athletes and young athletes up and coming that's looking up to you, and your job of being a top athlete is not over yet. You
Yeah.
still need to educate and inspire a lot of athletes that's going to be
Yeah.
future South African and even world stars.
Absolutely, man. Like, you know, I totally believe, like, you know, all the experience, what you've learned, you know, the good and the mistakes and the bad, everything, you know, if we can create a culture where we can share that information more in South Africa, where it's not about, you know, pride, and it's not about, you know, you figure it out on your own, then we're going to have a better chance of being, of producing, you know, world-class athletes in South Africa at a more rapid rate, you know. That's the aim, end of the day. We need people who are going to come and also win Commonwealth titles like you did, and win more titles, and go to world champs and try win, and Olympics. You know, we need more and more athletes coming through and doing that. So the perks, that was I want to know the perks. What are some of the perks that you've enjoyed from athletics? Is it traveling? Is it, what is it? Free stuff? What do you get? What are the perks? We want to know.
Temba, traveling obviously is top of the list.
Favorite country?
Spain,
Spain.
definitely. The
Where in
people, the
Spain?
food,
Where in Spain?
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Barcelona.
Yeah. The people, the food, everything, the weather, everything is just perfect.
Hey, it's a beautiful country.
Beautiful country, beautiful people, everything
Beautiful
is beautiful.
people. Hey.
Everything is
I
beautiful.
hear you. Hey.
Yeah, and
Barcelona.
also I made a lot of friends over the years, Temba, as well.
Mm.
People that I'm still in contact with all over the world, America, England, and yeah, for me, if it wasn't for track and field, I would have never even been out of the Western Cape.
Mm.
The track and field was like an escape for
Yeah.
me to experience the world.
I see Lindsay Hanukom is saying, and Jamona player. He says, don't forget Jamona.
Obviously Zamona as well. All the gelato.
Hey, gelato. Okay. All right, Cornel. This is my second last question to you. Where to from here? You know, obviously COVID was tricky times. Things are opening up now. Tracks are opening up. Where to from here? What are you thinking?
No, definitely, Temba. I think it was a difficult period for all of us.
Yeah.
But luckily, things seems like it's easing down at the moment. And I'm definitely still keeping fit, training. So it will be interesting year 2021 for a lot of athletes. For a lot of athletes, I think we're gonna see new stars. We're gonna see some. I won't say. I don't want to say. I don't want to call them old athletes, but I'm more experienced athletes. Do well next year as well, because I think this year made a lot of athletes rethink their whole schedule and everything. So, and yeah, 2021 is going to be an interesting season. A lot of people have been training hard. I see King B. The man is on the next level, man.
Next top level. You know, King B runs PVs at training. King B is just.
There's a lot of athletes that I'm looking. There's a lot of athletes that I'm actually looking forward to see what they. King B, Akani. Clarence Munyai. Wade van Niekerk, obviously. The hurdlers is with me in the race. Sox and Lindsay and Leroux. There might even be a couple of surprises, new juniors coming through, you know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think there's quite a lot of new coaches as well on the scene. And that's also nice to see, because I think now, especially after 2020, it's time for new coaches also to put their marker down and show to the world what we can produce in South Africa.
Absolutely, my brother. You know, it's been a pleasure. Always having you, always chatting to you. You know, the amount of wisdom that you have in your mind and in your head, you know, it needs to be shared at a more rapid rate. And I know, you know, the youngsters, I know you've got a passion of, you know, passing on your knowledge and what you've learned to young athletes, those who are coming up, and you know, and I know that's where we need to pull you in there more, you know, where you can help out.
Definitely, you know, definitely, that's something I'm looking forward to show the next generation, especially the finer details of becoming a top athlete, you know. One of my good friends, Heinrich Potain, we used to be in the same school and competed for the same province, for the country. And Heinrich has quite a couple of athletes as well in the Boland, Cardio Isaac and Keegan, the high jumper. So the amount of knowledge that the young coaches have, especially the new way going forward, you know. So we as the older generation athletes, we actually need to share with the young generation, so that the athletics in South Africa can become stronger and bigger, you know.
Absolutely. Message to South Africans: the people love you. They still love Seafred. What message do you have to those that have always been supporting you, that are still supporting you, that want to see you win, you know, whatever you do? What message do you have to them to wrap it up?
Yeah, for everyone that's always been on my side, thank you very much. I appreciate your support, and yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs over the years, but there might be a surprise in 2021.
Yoba.
And yeah, until 2021, I just wish everyone all the best over the next few months in preparation for Olympic Games. And I know there's a lot of athletes that's putting in the work. I've been following a lot of athletes on social media, and I can see everybody is focused, and I hope everyone is focused. So yeah, thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys in 2021.
Ayoba. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it straight from the man himself, Cornel Fredericks, aka Seafred, aka the postman that always delivers. Thanks, my brother. Thanks for coming on. Thanks
Temba.
for each and every single one of you that's watching. We appreciate you. Let's keep the conversations going because it's important for South Africa. Cornel, Robe. People don't even know your other nickname. Robe.
Cheers, Temba. Have a nice evening.
Take care. Have a good evening. Good night. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again later in the week. Thursday, look out. We've got another athlete that's coming up. So let's keep the conversations going, guys. Appreciate you all. Good night.